Okay, hello everyone. Welcome sa panibago na namang lecture. This time, we'll talk about psychometrics. Let me share my slide. Ang title ng lecture natin, The Basic Concepts of Psychometrics, wherein in this lecture, I am going to teach you to differentiate these four very important concepts. Masasabi ko na mahalagang skill yung nadi-differentiate ninyo yung pagkakaiba ng mga concepts na yan, because let me emphasize here, these concepts are different from each other. Unfortunately, marami ako mga naririnig na psych majors, even psychology professionals, they are interchanging these words. Akala nila pare-pareho lang yung mga terms na yan, no? So may mga estudyante, akala nila pareho lang yung psychological assessment sa psychological measurement. Or worse, may mga tao akala nila pareho lang yung psychometrics and psychological tests. Again, essentially, magkakaiba yung mga terms na yan. Another benefit, kapag alam mo yung differences ng mga apat na yan, the way you will understand psychological tests will be deeper, leading you to have a deeper appreciation of psychological tests. Kaya marami mga tao hindi na-appreciate yung psychological test kasi yun na nga, akala nila, itong mga konsepto na to pare-pareho lang. So to deepen our understanding on psychological tests or psychometrics as a field of knowledge, pag-uusapan natin yung differences among these four concepts. Unahin natin yung psychometrics, which is a compound word. So the best way for us to understand psychometrics is to dissect the word. Kasi psychometrics, no? So two words yan, combined as one. So let's dissect psycho and then metrics, and then pag-usapan natin anong ibig sabihin ng psychometrics. Pag sinabi mong psycho, this came from the Greek word psyche. So dapat alam nyo na yan, if you are a psych major, saan ka magaling? Saan ka nagme-major? Sa psyche, which means mind, mental, or spirit. So when you say you are a psychology major, saan ka magaling? Magaling ka sa mga issues, sa mga problems about the mind, mental, or the spirit. And I want to emphasize right now, a gentle reminder to all of you na psychology majors, hindi pareho ang psyche sa brain. Psyche is the software, the non-physical part, while the brain is the hardware. Yung brain yung dumudugo. Yung brain yung nagkakaroon ng tumor. Yung brain pwedeng hawakan. Yung brain kapag namatay yung tao, sumasama sa lupa. Pero yung psyche na nagpapagana sa brain, the psyche that makes brain processes possible is not the same as the brain. Kasi maraming mga psych majors, no, or even psychology professionals, yan yung pananaw nila sa psyche. Kung ano ang nangyayari sa brain, yun yung epekto sa psyche. But there are many studies today that show na talagang iba ang functioning or iba ang existence ng brain sa psyche. I have an entire lecture on that. Gagawa na lang natin yan next time. Okay? Basta, gentle reminder lang, let's not equate the psyche to the brain. Pag sinabi mong psych major ka, hindi ka major sa brain. Major ka sa psyche. Although we talk about the brain in biopsych, but the brain is not the main object of study in the field of psychology. Now, one thing about the psyche, mag-zoom in tayo dito sa psyche, the psyche is multidimensional. Lahat ng mga psychologists nag-agree sa idea na yan, no? Anong ibig sabihin ng multidimensional? That if you want to fully understand the psyche, you have to look at the different components of the psyche, such as the following: personality, intelligence, kasama na rin dyan yung IQ at EQ. Nandyan ang religiosity, sexuality, stress level, spirituality, at marami pa akong hindi sinama dyan. Again, all these are considered the different dimensions of the psyche. And this is what we are dealing with kung ikaw isang psych major. Kaya, let me pause right here, mag-sidetrack lang ako ng konti. Ang isang implication nito is, mahirap talaga umintindi ng tao, specifically the psyche of the person. Mas madaling umintindi ng mga physical objects. Kasi ang physical objects, isa lang yung dimension, which is the physical. For example, electric fan. Madaling intindihin ng electric fan. For example, kapag hindi umaandar ang electric fan, napaka-limited lang ng mga reasons kung ba't hindi umaandar yan. Siguro may sira na yung mga wirings, or the most common reason, siguro kaya hindi umaandar yung electric fan, hindi mo kasi sinaksak. So it's very easy to pinpoint the causes of certain physical problems such as an electric fan. But it is not that easy when we deal with the psyche. Kaya mahirap umintindi ng tao kasi para maintindihan mo yung pattern ng isang tao, you have to look at the different dimensions of that person. So ang electric fan, hindi siya umaandar kasi hindi nakasaksak. Pero bakit ka iniwan ng ex mo? Ano yung different reasons? Bakit ka iniwan ng ex mo? Wala siyang one simple answer. Why your relationship with your ex did not work. Pero may paraan. If you really want to dig deeper and understand bakit iniwan ka ng ex mo at pinagpalit ka niya sa iba, you have to analyze your ex in his or her different dimensions. Analyze mo yung personality niya, intelligence, religiosity, sexuality, at marami pa. Pero ang suggestion ko, in connection to that example, huwag ka na mag-aksaya ng oras na i-analyze pa yung ex mo sa different dimensions na yan. Kasi kahit anong analyze mo sa kanya, wala na. Iniwan ka na, tapos na kayo. So, my example is just to demonstrate to you na talagang when it comes to analyzing human beings, especially the psyche of human beings, it's a very hard job to do compared to understanding physical beings. Diba? Now, why am I emphasizing this? Ine-emphasize ko to kasi nare-realize ko o nakikita ko sa marami mga psych majors, mukhang mababa ang tingin sa psychology compared to other college majors. Special mention for example sa engineering. Marami mga psych majors kapag naririnig nila na yung estudyante enrolled sa engineering, parang ang taas-taas ng tingin. O, saan ka nag-aaral? Sa Lasal. Anong major mo? Engineering. Wow, ang galing, grabe. Pero hindi ganun yung reaction ng mga tao when they hear that a student is enrolled at Lasal studying psychology. Parang sobrang taas ang tingin pag engineering major compared to psychology major. But we have to change that. Kasi nga, in terms of the complexity of what we study, mas mahirap talaga ang pinag-aaralan sa psychology than engineering. Now, don't get me wrong, mataas ang respeto ko sa mga engineering students, sa mga professional engineers. Hindi ko minamaliit yung ginagawa nila. Ang point ko lang dito is, in terms of the complexity of what we study, in fairness, kung magiging honest lang talaga tayo, mas mahirap intindihin yung psyche na pinag-aaralan ng psych majors compared to the physical objects that engineering students or engineering professionals study. Kasi yung mga physical objects, madaling intindihin, basta malaman mo lang yung mga physical laws. Memorize mo lang yung mga formula. Marami lang formula. Sa tingin ko, yun yung nagpapahirap eh. Marami lang talagang formula na dapat i-memorize. But once you do, ang dali-dali na lang i-pinpoint ng mga causes of certain effects in the physical elements that engineering studies. Pero sa psychology, hindi kasi physical laws ang pinag-uusapan natin. We are studying psychological laws that are so hard to understand, next to impossible. Alright? Kaya, again, ang point ko lang dito is, bilang isang psych major, given the nature of what we do, kailangan talaga i-raise natin yung respect sa field natin. Because what we study here is very complex. And not only that, yung pinag-aaralan natin dito, hindi lang siya basta-basta complex, but it is sacred. Kasi, if there is one thing about the psyche na talagang gustong-gusto kong pinag-iisipan, it is, the psyche is a direct creation of our Creator. If you go to the book of Genesis, di ba? Talagang yung psyche na pinag-aaralan natin sa psychology nanggaling mismo sa being ng Diyos. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. So our very psyche, the psyche that we study in psychology, is the direct image of God. The sacred being in the whole wide universe. Doon nanggaling yung psyche natin. No wonder, it's very complex to study. Kasi yung mini-mirror ng psyche na pinag-aaralan natin sa psychology, yung nature of the most complex being in the entire universe, who is God Himself. Yung mga machines na pinag-aaralan sa engineering, again, no offense, hindi ko minamaliit ang field of engineering, Pero yung mga machines, hindi naman siya ginawa sa direct image of God eh. Machines are directly created by human beings. Got that? So yung psyche, direct creation ng supernatural being, while machines, direct creation of the mortal being. So between the two, psyche or machines, talagang mas complex na pag-aralan yung psyche. Kaya please lang, sana itaas naman natin yung respeto natin sa field natin. What we do here is not only hard, but it is also very sacred. Alright? So yan ang ibig sabihin ng psyche in psychology. Sana nagbago yung tingin nyo sa mga sarili nyo being a psychology major. Now, the word metric means to quantify or sa Tagalog, sukat. So kapag sinabi nating sukatin natin yung isang bagay, we want a numerical equivalent of that object. Kunin natin yung length, weight, quantity, speed, temperature of that object. So ang main goal natin, if we're quantifying something or measuring something, gusto natin i-reduce yon into a number. Okay? So i-combine na natin yung psycho and metrics. Anong ibig sabihin yan? This is the way APA defines psychometrics. Important words are in yellow. So unang-una, ang psychometrics is a branch of psychology, which means this is a field of knowledge. Pwede kang mag-masteral dito, pwede kang makakuha ng PhD in psychometrics. Anong ginagawa natin sa field of knowledge na to? Ginagawa natin, nagko-quantify tayo ng measurement, or sa simpleng Tagalog, nagsusukat tayo. Everybody say the word sukat. So kung hilig mong magsukat, pwede sa'yo ang psychometrics. Pero ang sinusukat sa psychometrics is mental attributes. Hindi physical yung sinusukat natin dito. Rather, we measure the different expressions, the different patterns of the psyche, which is again, non-physical. Not only that, psychometrics is a field where ang ginagawa rin pala dito, sabi dito is, we design, we analyze, we improve psychological test. Yung mga psychological test na yon na ini-improve natin or ginagawa natin in the field, yun yung ginagamit natin para makapagsukat ng mga mental attributes. Alright? So yan ang ibig sabihin ng psychometrics. Now let's move on to term number 2, psychological measurement. Ano naman ibig sabihin ng psychological measurement? This is a process. I want to emphasize on the word process. So yung unang term, psychometrics, is a field of knowledge. Psychological measurement is the process wherein we try to compute or to score a certain psychological test. Halimbawa, in the future, psychometrician ka na, may client na pumunta sa'yo, binigyan mo siya ng number of psychological tests, your next job is to convert this different tests that your client took into numbers. At ano ang tawag natin sa mga numbers na yon? Where we quantify the performance of our client from taking those tests, kukunin mo yung raw score. So the process that you use, the process that you take para makuha mo yung raw score ng client mo, under yon ng proseso ng psychological measurement. So kapag nagko-compute ka ng mga raw scores, ginagamit mo yung manual to guide you how to get the raw scores. Anong tawag doon? You are undergoing psychological measurement. Okay? So yun ang pinagkaiba niya sa psychometrics. Ang psychological measurement, it's a process, hindi siya field of knowledge. Okay? So what is the tool being used para makuha naman natin yung raw score from the performance of a client who took certain number of psychological tests? Yan ngayon yung tinatawag nating psychological test. Ito yung ginagamit nating kasangkapan, sa Tagalog, kasangkapan, para ma-quantify natin yung mga mental attributes. Okay, so this is the tool for psychological measurement. So yung psychometrics, field of knowledge, yung psychological measurement is a process, yung psychological test, tool that makes measurement possible. So marami dapat kayong alam ng mga psychological test. Nandyan ang Stanford Binet, nandyan ang Wechsler Intelligence Scale, nandyan ang Raven's Progressive Matrices, ang dami-daming psychological tests in the world of psychology. At bakit maraming klaseng psychological tests? Kasi nga, the psyche is multi-dimensional. For every dimension of the psyche, sexuality man yan, personality man yan, or stress level man yan, may mga tests that are designed to measure those different dimensions. Kaya nga ulitin ko, ang implication yan ang dahilan kung bakit mahirap umintindi ng tao. Talagang hindi mo totally masasabi na 100% na iintindihan mo siya unless talagang inintindi mo yung lahat ng dimensions ng psyche niya. Okay, but let's further zoom in the concept of psychological tests. A gentle reminder, not all tests are psychological tests. Kasi marami mga psych majors, meron silang pananaw na basta nakakita sila ng isang test, paper and pencil test that people answer, akala nila psychological test na yon. We have to be very clear what counts as psychological test. Okay? So, next slide. Wag naman sana kayong mainsulto, pero konting paalala lang. Okay? Kung ano ang hindi nagka-count na psychological test. Lahat ng test na nagme-measure ng physical elements or physical attributes are no longer considered psychological test. Kasi nga, psyche Ang mine-measure ng psychological test, attributes of the psyche, not of the body. So given that, out na ang blood test, out na ang urine test, out na rin ang pregnancy test. So, wag niyong isipin na yung mga test na yan, forms of psychological tests. Believe it or not, meron pa rin mga psych majors, akala nila psychological test ang mga yan, hindi po. Alright? So, all tests that measure a physical attribute are no longer counted as psychological tests. Now, this is a better example, no? Yung mga test na nakikita natin, for example, in magazines. Halimbawa, yung FHM, naglabas yan ng isang volume. FHM, A Man's Guide to Hooking Up. So, meron silang kiniklaim sa page 104, meron daw doon isang psychological test. Wherein, kailangan daw to kunin ng mga lalaki. Kasi, kapag kinuha daw to ng mga lalaki, malalaman nila kung anong klaseng babae ang dapat pinurpursue nila. Okay? So, parang may personality test dito. I-measure yung personality ng guy, and by knowing his personality, the guy will know what kind of girl he should be pursuing. So, syempre, nung nakita ko tong volume na to, na-curious ako because I'm a teacher of psychometrics, pinuntahan ko yung page 104 and ask myself if this is a legitimate psychological test. So, ito ang mga items dyan. I-pause nyo na lang yung video and you just read on your own. So, merong siyang question, tapos meron tong mga choices. So, sasagutan mo yung mga choices, no? And then, at the end of the test, meron kang equivalent score based on the choices that you made, and then from there, malalaman mo kung anong personality profile dapat ng babae yung nililigawan mo given your personality. Got that? So, ang tanong ko ngayon is this a legitimate form of psychological test? Kasi marami mga psych majors, when they see these tests in magazines like this, talagang marami sa kanila naniniwala na legitimate psychological test yan. Okay? So, there are two criteria para malaman natin kung ang isang test psychological test. And as I discuss these two criteria, tignan nyo kung papasa ba sa dalawang criteria na ito yung test na pinakita ko dito sa slide. Alright? So, how do we know if a test is a psychological test? Number one, kapag yung test nagme-measure ng dimension of the human mind. Obviously. So, dapat masisense mo na yung test ginawa siya para magsukat ng isang mental attribute. Para magsukat ng personality, ng talino, gaano kareliyoso yung tao, gaano kataas or kababa yung stress niya. Dapat yun yung inaatupag ng test. The question is, how would you know kung yun nga ba yung disenyo ng test? Paano mo masisense that a test was created to measure a mental attribute? Titignan mo yung items. Yan yung technique dyan. So, kunin mo yung test, tignan mo yung items. And then, tanungin mo yung sarili mo, ano ang sinusukat ng mga items in that test? Dapat yung mga items na yan, merong pakialam sa thinking patterns, emotional patterns, or behavioral patterns. The moment that you sense na yung mga items may kinalaman sa thinking, feelings, and behaviors, then, criteria number one is satisfied. Okay? That it is a test that aims to measure, asan yun? That aims to measure a dimension of the mind. Now, i-connect nyo to sa test construction. Ano ang application nito for my students taking my test construction subject? Given this, maghanap kayo o mag-isip kayo, ng isang test that will be designed to measure a certain psychological attribute. Mag-isip kayo ng test na gagawin ninyo na ang goal niya sukatin ang thinking patterns, emotional patterns, or action patterns ng tao na mukhang very few have attempted to measure. Huwag na kayong mag-isip ng isang test na marami nang nag-develop doon. Gas-gas na sa Tagalog. Maghanap kayo ng mga mental attribute na mukhang wala pang masyadong instruments ang nagagawa to measure those mental attributes. And just to give you an idea, in connection to psikolohiyang Pilipino, kasi nagtuturo din ako ng Filipino psychology, isa yan sa mga needs in the field. Marami tayong mga psikolohiyang Pilipino concepts na hindi pa natin nagagawan ng panukat. Such as utang na loob, lakas ng loob, pakikipagkapwa, tibay ng loob, or hiya. So I highly recommend na mag-isip kayo ng isang mental attribute na sa tingin nyo wala pang masyadong nag-measure. Lalong-lalo na in the field of Filipino psychology. The second criteria para malaman mo if a test is a psychological test, dapat yung test standardized. Anong ibig sabihin ng standardized? Another term for that is uniform, pare-pareho. These are strict guidelines in using the psychological test. Kapag sinabi mo na yung test standardized, meron siyang strict guidelines na dapat susundin ng mga tao na gagamit nung test na yon. Everyone should follow. That's the nature of standardized test. Very strict ang guidelines. Like what? Stricto ang mga standardized tests in the following things. Paano mo dapat gagamitin o paano mo dapat i-administer yung test. May mga test na dapat 45 minutes lang. May mga test dapat 1 hour lang. Kaya karamihan ng mga standardized tests, lalong-lalo na yung mga timed test, dapat meron kang stopwatch na dala dyan if you're going to administer this test. Kasi yung mga test takers, hindi pwedeng lumagpas doon sa time limit. Standardized tests are very strict when it comes to materials needed in taking the test. One good example of this would be many diagnostic tests. During my time when I was in high school, stricto talaga na dapat pag kukuha ka ng diagnostic test, Mongol pencil number 2 ang gagamitin. Kung ang dala mo Mongol pencil 1 or Mongol pencil 3, hindi ka pwedeng kumuha ng test because the test is standardized. Ang nakalagay sa manual, Mongol pencil number 2, therefore, yan ang dapat sundin. Now, for those of you who are asking, bakit ganun ka stricto? Anong meron sa Mongol pencil number 2? Kasi, during those times, yan lang yung lead number na kayang basahin ng mga scantrons. Yung mga machines na nag-check nung test. But fast forward, matagal na kasi yun 20 years ago pa yun, no? But fast forward, sa tingin ko ngayon, hindi na masyadong particular sa klase ng lead pencil na dapat gamitin. Alright? What else? Ang mga standardized tests, very particular kung sino lang ang tamang tao na dapat kukuha ng test. May mga test ginawa for babies. May mga test ginawa for adolescents. May mga test ginawa for professionals. May mga test ginawa for people in old age. At kapag ikaw hindi ka pasok doon sa profile to whom the test was intended for, hindi mo pwedeng kunin yung test. And of course, another strict guidelines of standardized test is stricto kung paano mo i-scorean dapat yung performance mo doon sa test na yon. Merong klarong sistema paano kino-compute yung raw score. And once you get the raw score, yung test na yon, ikukumpara mo yung raw score sa norm na meron yung test na yon. Very quickly, bakit mo ikukumpara yung raw score doon sa norm? Para magkaroon ng interpretation yung raw score mo. Hindi mo pwedeng hindi gagamitin yung norm to interpret the raw score that you got from that test that you have taken. Ganyan ka-specific yung mga guidelines na meron yung mga standardized psychological test. Kaya isa pang indication ng isang test is a psychological test. Pag binili mo yan, may kasamang test manual. Nakalagay sa test manual lahat ng guidelines na kailangan mong sundin if you plan to use the test. Alright? So that's another indicator na ang isang test is standardized, may kasamang test manual. So going back to my example, yung mga ganyang test ba that we see in magazines, are they considered psychological test? Specifically in my example in this lecture, ang sagot hindi. Kasi, in fairness, nahit naman niya yung criteria number 1. 'Di ba? Kung titignan mo yung mga items ng test, balikan natin, ano yung mine-measure ng mga items na yan? Ito. It measures the preference of a male. 'Di ba? Yung mga items na yan, preferences, tinatanong ka kung ano yung mga gusto mo in certain situations. Anong klase ng medyas ang gusto mo, anong klaseng mga restaurants yung gusto mong pasukan, so on and so forth. So, pasado naman yan sa criteria number 1. Pero nag-fall short yung test na yan doon sa second criteria, like most test. Karamihan ng mga test dito bumabagsak. Para maging counted as psychological test, hindi siya standardized. Kasi, when you take that test, no, wala namang clear guidelines yan on how you should take the test na nilabas ng FHM. Wala namang time limit yan. Wala namang particular materials na needed yan. Kung kukunin mo, anyone can take the test. Matanda, bata, regardless of sexuality, pwede mong kunin. So, hindi ganun ka-strict. And if you take the test, hindi ka naman bibigyan ng test manual to help you make more sense of the test. Got that? So, nag-fall short dito. Hindi siya standardized test. Pero, ang maganda dito is, pwede mong tawagan yung FHM and then offer them your services. Because you have taken psychometrics. Because you know how to deal with test development, offeran mo sila ng serbisyo mo na pwede mong gawing standardized for them. So, tawagan mo sila, sabihin mo na yung test na nilabas nila sa magazine nila hindi standardized, therefore, hindi siya dapat sineseryoso ng mga tao. And it's even dangerous. Kasi yung test ng mga hindi standardized, meron, at the end of taking the test, may mga claims yan about the person. And the fact na hindi siya standardized, hindi dapat masyadong sineseryoso, but many people take this seriously, which can endanger them. Pag sineryoso mo kasi yung bagay na hindi mo dapat sineseryoso, maraming mga problemang pwedeng mangyari. So, yun ang sasabihin mo sa FHM. Yung test nyo, hindi na nga standardized, delikado pa, pero pwede kong gawing standardized yan for you. I know how to standardize your test. Tapos, offeran mo ng professional fee mo. Malay mo, pumayag. Diba? Now, why am I emphasizing this? Kasi I would like to state here that test development is a very valuable skill. So sana pag kumukuha kayo ng subject on test development, huwag nyo lang tignan yan as a school subject that you need to pass. Rather, you are learning a very important skill. Hindi lang ito subject, isa itong kakayanan na mataas ang value. In fact, I would say na ang pera sa psychology nasa test development. Many people think na ang pera nasa clinical psychology or nasa IO psychology. I beg to disagree. Nasaan ang pera? Nasaan ang profit? If you want to use psychology for financial profit, nasa psychological testing. Specifically, saan lumalabas yan? When you offer different organizations your services to standardize certain tests for them or to create specific psychological tests exclusively for their use. Pwede kang mag-charge dyan ng professional fee. And I have seen many contracts made between a psychometrician, between a psychologist, and an organization. Ang lalaki ng kontrata. Ang pinakagagawin lang ng psychologist and psychometrician is gagawa sila, i-standardize nila yung psychological test na gusto ng organization. Alright? So, the field of psychometrics, talagang malaki ang, malaki ang financial potential. And if you are into that, you want to deal with psychology, at the same time, gusto mo ng financial profit, medyo business-minded ka, so you want to combine psychology and business, you deal with psychological test. Mag-develop ka ng mga psychological tests for different organizations. At the same time, magbenta ka ng mga psychological tests pwede rin. And speaking of selling psychological tests, one of the well-known organizations in the Philippines that sells psychological tests will be Philippine Psychological Corporation or PhilPsycor for short. Yan. So, yung mga practitioners in the field, very familiar with this organization, pwede nyong gawing template yung PhilPsyCor kung yan yung gusto nyong gawin in the future as a professional. Gawin yung business yung psychology via psychological test. Alright? Kaya yung mga nagsasabi na walang pera sa psychology, lalong-lalo na yung mga parents ninyo, yan ang common notion sa psychology, wala raw pera dito, hindi totoo yan. Ang pera nasa psychometrics. Okay? So, ang sagot sa tanong, may pera ba sa psychology? Yes. Nasaan? Sa psychometrics. Lalong-lalo na kung magaling ka sa skill ng test development, which is what psychometrics will be teaching you. Okay? Now, one more thing in connection to this. Sana itong idea na to of combining psychology and business for financial profit will motivate you na kumuha ng license. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng gawin lahat ng yan kapag hindi ka licensed psychologist or licensed psychometrician. Dati pwede pang wala. 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Ngayon hindi na. Kasi meron ng psychology law and part of that, inside the provision of that law, people who are dealing with sensitive things like psychological test, no? Kailangan license kayo, whether a psychologist or as a psychometrician. So for those of you who are watching right now, lalong-lalo na yung mga undergraduate psych students, sana maging future goal nyo yan. After you graduate, you're gonna take the board exam para mabigyan kayo ng license as a psychometrician or a psychologist. Okay? Very quickly lang, daanan lang natin to. How about those online quizzes that you see? Makakita ka ng isang pop-up na window, mag-take ka ron ng test na yan, malalaman mo kung gaano kataas ang sex appeal mo. Or sa Facebook, mag-click ka lang daw ng quiz na yan, malalaman mo kung anong personality mo in connection to a Harry Potter character. Ito ba mga legitimate psychological tests? Well, ang sagot dyan is, again, it depends. Although majority that I see, hindi siya considered psychological test. Bakit? Hindi naman mga standardized. Walang mga manual when you take this test. So, hindi dapat masyadong sineseryoso. Siguro you can answer this test for fun, pero wag nyo masyadong seryosohin kasi nga, hindi naman mga standardized yan. Okay? Pero meron din naman akong mga nakikitang mangilan-ngilan na mga online tests like this that are standardized. But very few. So, we have to be differentiating which online pop quizzes are standardized, which are not. Hindi lahat ng personality test online i-consider mo na legitimate psychological test. And last one, as we end the lecture, pag-usapan natin yung psychological assessment. This is also a process of psychometrics, just like psychological measurement. Pero magkaibang process yung measurement sa assessment. And this is where many students are confused. Hindi pareho ang psychological measurement sa psychological assessment, although both are processes in psychometrics. Sa psychological assessment, ang ginagawa dito is we make sense, we interpret of the raw scores na binigay sa atin ng psychological measurement via psychological test. Got that? So kapag ini-interpret mo na yung mga raw scores, you are now beginning to describe the psychological condition of the person. Binibigyang kahulugan mo na yung mga raw scores na nakuha mo, now you are undergoing the process of psychological assessment. Dinidescribe mo na yung psychological condition ng tao. Under ka na ng psychological assessment. Now, psychological assessment is the process. Pero ano ang final output? Ano ang concrete output ng psychological assessment? Yan yung assessment report. Ang assessment report, nahahawakan yan, sinusulat yan, piniprint yan. Ito yung binabasa ng psychometrician sa mga clients. Got that? Psychological assessment is the process, while assessment report is the concrete form of the process. Yun yung pinagkaiba. Now, ano ang silbi ng assessment report? Or ano ang silbi ng proseso ng psychological assessment? And I hope by answering this question, makikita ninyo how important the field of psychometrics is. Okay? Ang pinakasilbi niyan, kapag meron tayong assessment report, at marunong tayo mag-psychological assessment is nagiging useful ang psychology. To be more specific, we are able to help our clients make decisions that will give them a better mental life. Kaya nga tayo nag-psych major eh. Gusto natin makatulong sa mga tao via helping them how to have a better psychological functioning. Okay, please lang pakicheck yung mga motivation ninyo kung yun ba talaga yung reason nyo, ba't kayo nasa psychology. Dapat yan ang tamang reason kung bakit ka nagsa-psych major. You want to contribute to the life quality of people around you through teaching them how to have better mental health. Kapag hindi yan ang motivation mo, kaya ka nag-psych major para marami kang mabola na opposite sex para makapag-scam ka ng maraming tao, please lang, huwag ka na sanang mag-psychology major. Okay? Kaya tayo nag-psych major. We want to improve the psychological health of people around us. So, going back, anong kinalaman ng assessment report doon? Kapag may assessment report tayo, nagsisilbing basis yon sa mga decisions na isasuggest natin sa mga clients natin that will help them have better psychological life. Halimbawa, ito yung simpleng example dito. Merong isang estudyante na problematic. Dahil dyan, binigyan mo siya ng series of psychological tests, in-assess mo na siya, nag-type ka na ng assessment report. Because of the assessment report, now, meron na ngayon tayong pinangahawakan kung ano ang dapat gawin ng problematic student na yon para mag-improve yung quality of life niya in the school. Given his psychological condition na nakasulat sa assessment report, ano ang kailangan niya? Should that person undergo therapy? Kailangan ba natin kausapin yung parents niya? Or 1-hour counseling will do? So, anong pipiliin mo dyan? Depende yan sa kung anong nakasulat doon sa assessment report of the student who took the psychological test. O, diba? Hindi ka makakapag-recommend ng dapat gagawin kung wala kang assessment report na pinangahawakan. Other decisions na ganyan din yung kaya natin gawin, no? Paano natin malalaman who to put into mental institutions? Huwag niyong iisipin na ang dali-dali lang na magpasok ng tao sa mental institution, ha? Halimbawa, tatawag ko lang sa PGH, hello, PGH, itawag ko lang yung kapitbahay ko, kinakausap niya yung sarili niya mag-isa, ilagay niyo nga to sa psych ward. Hindi sapat yon para maging dahilan why you would be putting that person in the psych ward. May mga paperworks yan. And those paperworks that will put a person inside a mental institution, kasama dyan yung psychological assessment, yung assessment report. Dapat merong matinding dahilan kung bakit ilalagay sa psych ward ang isang tao. Kasi danger na siya sa sarili niya, danger na siya sa ibang tao. And only psychological assessment can prove na ganun nga talaga yung taong yon. O, sa scholarship, 10 ang nag-apply. Sa 10, isa lang yung kukunin. Sino sa 10 yung bibigyan mo ng scholarship? O, paano makakatulong ang psychological testing dyan? O, edi yung assessment report na isusulat mo, yung performances ng mga tao dito na nag-a-apply ng scholarship, pipiliin mo kung sino yung pinakamaayos. Yung psychological profile, siya ngayon yung bibigyan mo ng scholarship. Hindi yung 10 yung nag-a-apply, huhulaan mo lang sino sa kanila yung makakakuha ng scholarship. Assessment report can guide us who to choose from the 10. Ganun din sa industry. O, kapag tayo mag-hire, may mga nag-a-apply sa organization, dapat meron tayong basihan kung bakit natin siya kinuha at hindi yung ibang applicants. At the same time, firing employees, ganyan din yan. Assessment reports can help us identify employees who are no longer effective in the organization, kailangan ng pakawalan. And please lang, huwag kayong nagfa-fire, huwag kayong nagsisisante ng mga empleyado na walang assessment report. Kasi kapag wala kayong basis na tinanggal nyo ang isang empleyado, may kaso sa DOLE yan. Diba? So, para maiwasan yon, dapat may pinangahawakan kayo na reasons, strong reasons, kung bakit tinanggal nyo ang empleyado sa pwesto niya. And one of the reasons, valid reasons, kung bakit natanggal ang empleyado sa trabaho kasi may pinangahawakan kang assessment report. Yung assessment report na yun, magpapatunay na hindi na siya effective sa trabaho niya, kaya nyo siya tinanggal. Ganun din sa divorce and annulment. Kaya isang malaking application din ng psychometrics sa mga social processes na yan. Para mag-grant ang divorce, para mag-grant ang annulment, dapat i-establish. Let me focus on annulment kasi yan lang meron sa Pilipinas, no? Dapat ma-establish mo that ang isa sa mag-asawa or pareho ang mag-asawa merong psychological incapacity that they are not able to maintain a married relationship. Yan yung one of the reasons kung bakit nag-grant ang annulment of marriage. Isa sa kanila or pareho sila psychologically incapacitated. Pero paano mo mapapatunayan na psychologically incapacitated nga yung isa sa kanila or pareho sila? The use of psychological tests leading to assessment report. Kaya pag pinapatawag yung mga psychologists sa korte for annulment cases, lagi nilang dala-dala yung assessment report na nagpapatunay that one of the parties or both of them are psychologically incapacitated. O, yung custody ng anak, kaninong ibibigay? Sabi sa family code, kapag ang bata minor, laging sa nanay. But there are cases where ang custody ng bata binibigay sa tatay, hindi sa nanay. Bakit? Kasi yung nanay, hindi siya psychologically fit to take care of a child. Pero, bago ibigay yung custody ng anak o yung custody sa bata doon sa tatay, ipoprove dapat muna na yung nanay talaga wala siyang psychological skill to be a good mother. At ano ang kailangan mo to prove? That the mother is not fit psychologically to be a mom. Psychological assessment. Kailangan meron kang pinangahawakan na assessment report to prove na ang nanay hindi niya kayang mag-handle ng anak. And lastly, death penalty. Although walang death penalty sa Pilipinas, in other countries, malaki ang silbi ng assessment report sa death penalty. Like for example, marami mga nakataka sa death penalty because of the insanity plea. 'Di ba? So halimbawa, ako yung attorney, tapos yung kliyente ko nahatulan ng bitay. At ayaw ko siyang mabitay kasi nga kliyente ko siya. Kailangan ko siyang depensahan. May mga attorneys ang ginagawa, ipoprove na yung kliyente niya was not in his or her right mind during the crime. So sasabihin niya, Your Honor, yung kliyente ko hindi deserving mabitay kasi during the time na ginagawa niya yung krimen, hindi siya yung gumagawa ng krimen. Yung mental illness niya. He or she is not in the right state of her mind when the crime was committed. This person is mentally ill. And what do we do with people who are ill? You don't punish them. You don't kill them via death penalty. What do? You treat them. So wag natin siyang bigyan ng punishment, rather bigyan natin siya ng treatment. Imbis na i-gas chamber siya, imbis na i-lethal injection siya, ang gawin na lang natin, ilagay na lang natin sa mental institution. Yan yung tinatawag na insanity plea. And in the history of the legal system, marami ang nakalusot dyan. Yung muntik na silang ma-death penalty, but because of the insanity plea, nakataka sa death penalty. But again, before maniwala ang korte sa'yo, before maniwala ang jury sa'yo, na mentally ill nga yung kliyente mo, you have to show to them the assessment report. Yun yung basis. Yun yung magpapatunay that indeed, kailangan niya ng treatment at hindi ng death penalty. No? So I hope this slide made you realize how useful the field of psychometrics is. Napaka-socially relevant ng field na ito. And just to be more specific here, bigyan ko kayo ng isang issue sa Pilipinas na sana makaka-contribute ang psychometrics. Okay? Para makita nyo ang psychometrics very socially relevant, yung naging issue ng Showtime. Si Ayon at saka si Vice Ganda, alam nyo na yan. Alright? I-review nyo na lang, mag-internet na lang kayo para malaman ninyo kung ano yung mga naging issue dito for those of you who are not familiar with what happened. Okay? Now, fast forward, meron palang resident psychologist yung Showtime, and this psychologist made a statement defending, of course, si Vice at si Ayon. Okay? Actually, naglabas sila ng public statement in connection to the issue. Yung pagdila ng mga daliri nila sa harap ng mga bata, no? So, to make the long story short, kinover ko na lang yung pangalan ng psychological clinic, kinover ko rin yung pangalan ng psychologist, kayo na lang bahala maghanap kung anong clinic ito at kung sinong psychologist. And this is a public document, so wala naman tayong na-violate dito ng mga privacy issues, alright? So, maliit maliit yung mga letters, so tinype ko na lang word for word. This is about the leaking of icing incident at Showtime last July 2023, allegedly on incident act of vice ganda. Again, let me emphasize na itong sulat na to ginawa ng resident psychologist ng Showtime. So, professional psychologist ito. A person's individual experience or circumstance shapes his or her perception, including that of sexual activity or malice. And then the psychologist continues, in this case, a person, especially a child, who does not yet have sexual awareness will not perceive the act of flicking food or icing from one's finger as malicious or sexual. Therefore, the children present during the subject show and even the children watching will not ordinarily perceive the subject conduct as sexual or malicious. Sa simpleng Tagalog, to summarize what the psychologist said, walang masamang psychological effect na nangyari sa mga bata during the time that they saw the characters, Vice and Ion, doing this. Walang mali siya sa kanila yan. Walang problema, therefore, hindi dapat suspindihin ang Showtime. Okay? Now, as a teacher of psychometrics, may nakikita akong issue dito na may kinalaman sa psychometrics in connection to the statement made by the psychologist. Okay? Look at the words that I highlighted in red. I'll give you time to focus on those red words. Ang sabi niya, not yet sexually aware will not ordinarily perceive the subject conduct as sexual or malicious. Anong tawag ko sa mga red words na yan? Ang tawag dyan, these are assessment statements. Mga psychological statements ito, mga psychological conclusions ito na pinagpapalagay ng psychologist na totoo. Got that? Now, in the light of the field of psychometrics, may problema sa assessment statement na yan. Oh, wait lang ha. Wrong spelling pala tayo dito. Gawin natin tama. Statement. Ayan. May problema sa mga assessment statement na yan because in the field of psychometrics, we follow a principle na there should be no assessment there should be no assessment without measurement. Let me repeat. That's very important. There should be no assessment without measurement. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng assessment na gagawin mo, kapag nagsabi ka ng mga statements that describe a psychological condition of anyone, kailangan may pinangahawakan kang psychological measurement. Kung wala kang pinangahawakan ng psychological measurement, hindi ka naman nagbigay ng mga psychological test to prove your psychological assessment, then hindi ka dapat gumagawa ng psychological assessment. Yun nga yung problema dito. Meron siyang assessment. So the next question now is, nasaan yung measurement na foundation or nasaan yung measurement na magpapatunay na yung assessment statements na yan tama? Now, I might be wrong. Okay? I might be wrong. I think hindi binigyan yung mga bata dito ng psychological measurement. Walang psychological measurement na nangyari. Kasi kung meron, at some point in the letter, ipagmamalaki yan ng psychologist na before these children entered the show, they underwent a series of psychological tests ensuring na wala silang sexual malice. At the fact na walang sinabi, walang binanggit, most likely, hindi nangyari yan. Saan nanggaling yung mga assessment statements na yan, hindi ko alam. Ayokong pangunahan yung nagsulat na psychologist na to. Pero, yun nga yung principle dito. Assessment statements yan eh. Hindi ka dapat nag-a-assess, hindi ka dapat nagde-describe ng psychological condition ng tao kung wala kang pinangahawakan na series of measurements that will back up your assessment. Yun. Again, I might be wrong, no? Hindi ko sinisiraan yung psychologist dito. I don't even know the psychologist. Hindi ko rin sinisiraan yung clinic. It's just that in the light of psychometrics, I see a loophole in this statement. Hindi kasi gumawa ng psychological measurement para panindigan na tama yung assessment ng psychologist. Alright? Okay, so yun lang, no? Yun lang yung point ko dito. Also, gusto ko lang din bigyan pansin to, no, as I close, yung asterisk dito. Even the children watching. Ginawan din ng statement yon. Now, hindi ko alam kung anong ibig sabihin ng even the children watching. Sino? Sino yung children watching? Children watching in the studio na hindi naman involved doon sa segment, or is she pertaining to all children in the Philippines who happen to be watching Showtime at that point? But regardless, hindi na issue yun eh. No? Regardless kung aling mga bata yung sinasabi nyo dito, same loophole I see. Paano mo nalaman na yung mga bata na hindi involved, na sa studio lang nanonood, at yung mga bata na nanonood sa buong Pilipinas at that time, paano mo nalaman na hindi pa sila ganyan? I'm sure, hindi naman binigyan ng mga psychological test yung mga yon para malaman, para masabi niya na lahat ng bata at that time, wala pang sexual malice. Okay? Again ha, don't get me wrong. Baka naman tama. For all we know, baka tama naman yung sinasabi ng psychologist. Pero ang issue lang dito is, yung assessment niya sa mga bata, walang pinangahawakan na psychological measurement. Kaya ako, no, in general, yung stance ko dito, medyo questionable yung assessment statements niya. And one of the lessons we can learn here is, na sana makatulong sa mga psych majors, no, in the future, lalo na yung mga mai-involve sa media, huwag tayong gagawa ng mga assessment statements about someone, lalong-lalo na in public, kung wala naman tayong pinangahawakan na psychological measurement. Kung hindi ka naman nagsukat ng mental attributes of a person, therefore wala kang psychological measurement, then wala kang wala kang karapatan na magsabi ng assessment of those people. Got that? So the reason why I emphasize this is because in closing, yan, gusto kong makita ninyo how relevant test development is. How relevant the field of psychometrics is. Marami mga problema, marami mga issues in our society, may kinalaman ang field of psychometrics. Kaya dapat talaga sineseryoso itong subject na to. Okay, so this is my closing framework. Yan yung relationship ng apat na concepts sa isa't isa. What do we do in this subject? We develop test. Because of this process, nabuo yung field of psychometrics. Gumagawa tayo ng mga psychological test that makes measurement possible, that makes assessment possible, and this assessment makes psychology very useful. And the cycle continues. Kaya ang isa ko pang insight dito is, hindi dapat tumigil yung pag-develop ng test. Diba? We should not stop developing different psychological tests because it will make psychology relevant. It will continue to make psychology useful. The moment na tumigil na tayong magsukat ng mga mental attributes, wala na tayong mga psychological tests na ginagawa, ay baka dahilan yan para tumigil na tayo sa psychology. Magiging dahilan yan kung bakit mamamatay na yung psychology as a field. And I want you to realize this. Bakit ang mga textbooks natin sa psychology punong-puno ng mga details about the psyche? Karamihan ng textbook sa psychology ang kakapal, di ba? Ang dami-dami mga researches doon. Now, what made that possible? Why do we know a lot of things about dev psych, about clinical psych, about social psych? Ang sagot, kasi yung mga alam natin about these things, tinulungan tayo ng mga psychological tests. Every psychological conclusion that we present in these textbooks, most likely, kaya natin alam yung mga conclusions na yon because psychometrics was involved. may ginamit na psychological test sa isang research leading to that psychological knowledge that we see in these textbooks. Kaya sobrang halaga talaga ng psychometrics kapag itong field of knowledge na to nawala. Kung wala ang psychometrics, halos walang laman yung mga textbooks natin in psychology. So malaki ang utang na loob ng mga fields of knowledge na ito sa psychometrics. Kaya please lang, irespeto natin tong subject na to. And most importantly, let's value this subject by studying this with all our hearts. Alright? So yun lang yung maikling lecture natin on the basic concepts of psychometrics. If you have any questions, comments, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa baba. Sir Howard here. Hanggang sa susunod na lecture. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.